All right, our welcome packet is step 2 on our list. So if we have not already done our orientation packet, we're going to go back and do our orientation packet first before we move on to this welcome packet. We need to make sure we understand, how this program is going to work, how to get the most out of it before we dig into this deeper level homeworky type stuff. So once you've finished your orientation packet, you are ready for this one. So what this packet is I really want to get you into that right mindset and get you into the right space mentally to get the most out of this program on a higher level. So I want you to dig into this stuff. Even if we've done this a little bit in some of the challenges that I've ran before. So if you've done a challenge, you might have, touched on this a little bit, but this is going to go a little bit deeper. Okay. So I want you to dig into your why. I know that you've done this exercise before. Again, I know that you've probably done this, but I want you to do it again, because every time you do this, it gets a little bit more clear. It gets a little bit more, it flows a little bit easier. So dig into this again. And I want you to do it in this document because I think it's really important that we have all of this stuff in one place. So as we go through this program, the modules are going to build on each other, and everything is set up very intentionally in a certain order. One, so that it doesn't overwhelm you, and two, so that we can build on the foundation that we're creating right from the beginning. We're starting with the most important pieces that we need, and then we're adding things on top of it to make it more efficient or make it easier or make it more profitable or whatever it is. But I want to make sure that we have all of this stuff together and we can go back and reference it. So if you don't like typing in the actual worksheet, that's totally fine. You can print these out or you can use your own notebook. That's fine. Just make sure you're doing everything in the same place so that you can go back and refer to this later, because you're going to want it. And it's going to be cool to see how much this stuff has changed going through the program as well. So what's your why? There's plenty of instructions up here. As always, post any questions you have in the Facebook group as well. And then we can go into this stuff on our first call if anyone has any questions there. So I want you to really, start with an assessment. Look at where you are now. Look at what you've been working on. Look at the things that you've been doing. And I want you to rate yourself here. Scale of 1 to 10. How confident are you in what you're doing? What have you done already? Have they been helpful? Have they not been helpful? Really dig into, have things been working? And what are you doing the things that you really like to be doing? And what would you let go of? And think about your brand from this higher level. So these questions are meant to draw out of you what the most important things are to you in your business. So maybe it's, working with your clients. Maybe you really like doing back-end stuff. Maybe you hate doing back-end stuff. But I want you to dig deep into these questions. As always, I'm probably going to say that every single week. Get used to hearing it. Dig deep into these. This is not a thing where we go through and we check the boxes and we move on. This is important, deep foundational work, especially these first 5-6 weeks of this program. This is really deep work. Okay, cool. So, this is really just a checkpoint to see where you are now again. So how are you currently doing it? Are you doing stuff in a Facebook group? Do you hate Facebook groups? Are you doing things on Instagram? Are you sending emails consistently? Just do a quick check-in with yourself. And it's really important to, again, write this stuff down. I don't want you to read this and say, well, I'm emailing and doing my Facebook group. I want you to really do an assessment on what you're doing. I want you to go look at your Facebook group and look at your email history and see how consistent you are, see how often you're showing up and how you're talking to people and what you're talking about, and how does it feel like it's going? And do you feel like you're totally fine with showing up, or do you feel like you really could be more consistent, or do you feel like you have no idea what to say, so you're not just saying anything? It's important to have this really clear picture of where we are now, because that's what's going to help us craft our goals to get there faster. Okay. Advertising, if you're doing advertising. If you're not, that's totally okay. Most people starting this program are not doing any paid advertising. This is not a requirement, but it is something that I want you to be thinking about in the future. So what would that look like? What would be your ideal budget? When would you get there? Just like we did in the orientation packet. So your monthly income goals, what do you want it to be? And this is a bigger part of our week 1 homework. So just make sure this is the assessment. Okay, we're just assessing where we are. We're seeing how big the gap is between where we are now and where we want to be. And then when are you most productive? This is a really important question to ask yourself too, especially when we're planning that calendar. This question probably should have been in the orientation packet, honestly, when we're making our calendars. But, think about how you work best. What things get you excited? These right here, like what describes you best? What gets you excited? What makes you get into that zone and into the flow where you're going to get the most out of the work that you're doing? Like I can tell you these homework assignments and these modules right here, all of this stuff is that deeper level stuff, and it requires you to be in a good headspace to think about this stuff, right? And if I try to wake up at the ass crack of dawn and do these, I'm not going to get very good results because I'm just flat out not a morning person. I don't like being awake in the morning, and I can't do anything that requires my brain until about 10 or 11 a.m. So I work on stuff at night. That's just how I work. Maybe you're the exact opposite. Tons of people are the exact opposite of that, but just make sure you're making conscious decisions and you're not just, sticking things in gaps in your time or in your calendar just because there's a gap there. I want you to make sure that you're doing the things that you want to be doing and you're doing them in the most efficient way possible. Okay. So based on this assessment of what you're doing, like how can we adjust this? Is there anything that needs to change? Maybe there's not. Maybe you've already, have a plan for what you're going to do, and this is just reinforcing that it's going to work really well for you. That's cool. But it's an important check-in. Okay. We're going to check in with ourselves. We're going to see if we're on the right track or if there's any changes or adjustments that we do need to make going forward. So outline your goals. This is so, so important. You should know this by now about me, but just in case you don't, we have to build the road. We have to know where we're going or we're never going to get there. So I want you to write out, what are your goals? Do you want to make a certain dollar amount? Do you want to book a certain number of clients? Do you want to get, clarity around your offer? Do you want to get your website up and running? Whatever your goals are, write them all out. What do you want to accomplish? So that when we're going through this stuff, we can refer back to this list and make sure that we are going to get this stuff done. If you want to share it in the group and we can help hold you accountable to these things, that's a great thing to share. So dig through this list though. And then what makes this time different? Like if you've worked on other programs before, if you've, done things and you really love them and they've been really successful, think about how you can implement those skills that you learned into this program. Or if the opposite is true, if you've joined programs and they haven't worked out very well in the past, then think about, what makes this time different? Like, what was it about that program? Did you not have, one-on-one time where you needed to ask questions, or did you not have clear homework modules, or did you, whatever it was that you were missing, make sure that you are going to take advantage of those things this time, because all of those things are a part of this program, but you only get value from them if you take advantage of them, right? If you don't ever show up to any calls, then it's not going to do you any good, right? So make sure you are setting yourself up for success here. So, what would keep you from meeting these goals? How are we going to overcome these things? We're going to take advantage of the support that we have in our group. First of all, should be step one in this box, but think through these things. What's going to throw me off track when I've done other programs? Like, is it, something with my kiddos, or is it, trying to cook dinner every night, or I don't know, whatever things keep you from meeting your goals. Make sure that you have a plan for being flexible when that stuff happens, because life is always going to happen. So what can we do to make sure that when we do get derailed, that we don't completely fall off the wagon, that we don't stay completely stuck, and we continue moving forward to reach our goals? So what will you do to rein it back in? I got ahead of myself there, and then what about your personal life too? Like, make sure that our businesses are meant to feed our personal life, not the other way around. We started our own businesses to make our life better, not make it more crazy and hectic and miserable. So of course it's going to take work. Of course we're going to have to dedicate time and energy, but we don't want to be miserable during this process, right? So we want to think about our personal life too. And what are the things that are non-negotiables for us in our regular life? Like, I love going out and having time to walk my dogs, or go to yoga, or do, go on date nights with my husband, or whatever that is. Don't forget that stuff, because you're going to get burnt out so quick if you just throw everything into, one part of your business, and all that's going to do is lead to burnout and misery. So don't do that. Think about those personal things that are non-negotiables for you. And then our very first homework assignment. These are like one of my favorite parts of this program. This is the best way to start a group program. I fully believe this. I've been in other group programs. We did something very similar to this, and this is the best way to get to know each other and to really create this community of people with common goals and common interests and shared values so that we can all help each other get there even faster. So please, please, please do this. I know this can be scary. That's totally okay. It's okay to be scared. Do it anyway. Do it scared. So we are going to make commitment videos. We can do it live if we want to. If you want to record it and post it, that's okay too. I don't care how it gets there, but I want to see your face on video in our Facebook group. Okay. You're going to say your name, where you're from, what you do, what you're committed to getting out of the program. So some of those goals that we have on these pages up here, your strengths, your opportunities for growth, what you desire in terms of community. What is it you're looking for? Do you like, intimate, group connections, or are you looking for like a one-on-one type mastermind partner? Maybe you want to team up with somebody else and have, more implementation time, just the two of you together, or whatever it is that you're looking for. What do you want to get out of this community? Tell us that. What are you most excited about, and what are you most thankful for? So I fully understand being scared to do video. I want to say that the very first group program I was in, I had to do one of these. It was the very first time I had ever done any video at all. And I recorded that thing literally like 40 times before I actually posted it in the group. But you know what? I did it. And that was the very first thing I did to show up for myself. And it gave me so much more confidence to do it more consistently. So it's only in our group in our tiny little community with our people. It's not like anyone else is going to see it, but this is so important. Okay. I want to see your face on video, and I want to hear from you. I want to get to know you. I want to be able to help you the best that I can, and I have to get to know you in order to do that. And so does everyone else. So these are meant to be fun, and I promise you they will be fun if we can just let go of the fear and realize that this is exactly why we're here. This is what we're doing in this program. We're getting clarity. We're getting confidence to show up and share our message. And this is step one. This is the perfect practice. So I cannot freaking wait to see your video. I'm so excited to watch all of them. I watch every single one of them, the entire video. So please, please, please get this in there as soon as possible. Get time to do this before you dig into the first week of homework, and let us get to know each other. Cool? I will see you guys soon.